Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Sips for Change. As always, we're your host, Tammy and Martine, here to bring you exciting conversations about making events more planet and people conscious. Today, we're bringing you ideas to celebrate sustainably, inclusively, and let's be honest, deliciously.
That's right. The holidays are here, and we know that they can feel overwhelming sometimes when it comes to hosting events. We always want to be aware of the holiday schedule so we don't overlap business with well-deserved rest and family time. As Martine says, the first step to being aware is to do your research, and sometimes that also can be a lot. But don't worry, we're here to make things more mindful, simpler, and way cozier. Plus, if you're lucky, you'll leave this episode with some inspiration to borrow from all around the world.
Speaking of the world, today's episode is a bit special. We're diving into holiday traditions across the calendar and from across the world, with special features tied to our backgrounds, and showing you how you can bring sustainable and inclusive ideas into your celebrations.
Before we dive in, we just want to share a little note. There are so many wonderful holidays celebrated all around the world, but in this episode, like Martine said, we'll focus primarily on a few that we're more familiar with. It's not because we don't value inclusivity, it's quite the opposite. We want to make sure that we're sharing traditions accurately and respectfully. But we'd absolutely love to hear from you about the holidays you celebrate. So please share them in the comments and let's keep learning from one another.
Okay, Tammy, let's start with Hanukkah, the Jewish festival of lights. It's an 8-day celebration that usually starts in late November or December, depending on the Hebrew calendar. It's all about family, gratitude, and miracles. Celebrated with menorahs, games like dreidel, a spinning top with Hebrew letters, and of course, delicious food.
Yes, and those Hanukkah treats are so comforting. Latkes, which are potato pancakes, sufganiyot, which are jam-filled donuts, and briskets. I've read that these days some families are adapting traditional recipes with local organic ingredients to keep things more sustainable. And you can even use eco-friendly candles for those menorahs too. I've heard some families having menorahs that have been passed down through generations, which is so beautiful and it reduces waste. Even small changes like these can make a difference.
This is so interesting. I love that. Meanwhile, Christmas tends to be around the same time in December and it's celebrated by so many cultures and countries. So, first up, in the US, many traditions are all about the lights, the tree, and the presents, right? And while it's super festive, it's also super wasteful if you're not careful.
But here's the good news. More and more people are making greener choices. For example, instead of cutting down a real tree or buying a fake one, some families are renting potted Christmas trees. These Christmas trees get replanted after the holidays, so they're good for the environment. Martine, did you know that sometimes buying a plastic tree is actually worse than buying a real tree?
Really? Why is that?
It's because a lot of fake trees are produced in China and other countries where labor is cheaper, and then they're shipped over here by sea and they have to be distributed throughout the country on trucks to the stores. That's a large carbon footprint where we're talking about shipping. They're also made of cheap plastic and sometimes they fall apart quickly, and people tend to toss them after a few years and then buy another one. Meanwhile, real trees are grown on farms and typically local farms, and they get shipped domestically. They also take a few years to grow to a sizable size so that they're able to be sold, which means that during the years that they're being planted and growing, they provide animals with shelters, and during that time, also incomes for the families that work on the farm.
Wow, I didn't think about that. I guess from a fair labor perspective, it's better to support local businesses domestically than international companies that may be mistreating their workers.
Yeah, for sure. And additionally, many cities and towns actually recycle those Christmas trees by producing mulch with them.
So, a perfect example of circularity. Love it. Now, let's talk about the kids' favorite part, opening presents and the gift wrapping. In the US, a lot of people are ditching traditional paper and going for fabric wraps, recycled materials, or reusable gift bags. It's like they're taking a page out of Japan's history books and utilizing furoshiki.
A little fun tidbit for history buffs out there. Furoshiki is the art of fabric wrapping. It's more widely known as gift wrapping now, but historically, it originated from the need to having to carry something from one place to another, particularly personal belongings. When people didn't have bathrooms in homes, they would wrap their belongings in a big square cloth, and they would also use the same cloth to spread out on the changing floor to stand on while dressing and undressing before and after the bath.
This is interesting. I'm learning so many things today. I love the idea of renting potted trees and using pretty fabrics for gifts. Such a good idea. Now let's go across the pond to France. Many people are embracing sustainability during the big Christmas Eve feast, Réveillon. While not everyone takes it too hard, there's a growing trend toward choosing more local and seasonal ingredients, like no strawberries in December. Instead, it's all about enjoying oysters, roasted veggies, and chicken from local farms. Très chic, très green.
Of course, it's chic. It's France. Meanwhile, in Argentina, Christmas looks completely different because it's summertime. People celebrate with asado or barbecue, featuring loads of grilled meats and sides. Also, lately, they've been even adding more veggie options, which is better for the planet and your digestion after all. Fir trees are also rare to find, so they repurpose those other types of trees to make their Christmas trees.
Yeah, you're right, Tammy. My mother in law used to do that. Um, so after Christmas comes Kwanzaa, a celebration honoring African heritage and culture. It's observed from December 26th to January 1st, and each night a candle is lit on the kinara, a special candle holder with 7 candles, 3 red, 3 green, and 1 black in the center, symbolizing the principles and the values of the African diaspora. Each day focuses on one of the 7 principles like unity, self determination, and creativity.
I love how it brings people together to reflect on shared traditions. Some families are finding really creative ways to celebrate sustainably, like making the Kinar candles with natural wax, crafting homemade gifts instead of buying new ones. And the feast, Kwanzaa often ends with a big meal featuring dishes inspired by the African diaspora. Think about fish, rice, seasonal vegetables. It's a perfect example of how food can be deeply meaningful and eco-friendly.
Now I'm starting to be hungry, Tammy.
Me too. I love how all of these holidays consist of families coming together and celebrating over good food.
So true. Now let's continue on our journey through the holiday calendar. January 1st is the big holiday all around the world, and there are many similarities for this one. Many countries and cities like New York, Paris, and London host live countdowns and set up firework displays at the stroke of midnight, signaling the new year. We've mentioned this in our previous chats, right? Fireworks are really harmful for animals and the environment. The best alternative would be some amazing drone displays.
And getting rid of confetti or replacing the confetti with plant-based or biodegradable options. Confetti that is made out of plastic can be damaging for local ecosystems and really dangerous for animal consumption.
Yep, totally agree. Then, continuing on to January 6th, we have Three Kings Day. Spain loves their Three Kings Day, which is actually where it was originally founded. And one of their coolest traditions is the Roscón de Reyes, a big circular cake with a hidden surprise inside. And whoever finds it gets crowned king or queen for the day. It's inclusive and delicious. We also have that in France called Galette des Rois. And to crown the queen or king, the youngest person hides under the table and designates who gets each portion of the cake.
That is so cool. I would love to try that one day. It looks like I'm gonna have to visit you in Spain and, stop by for Three Kings Day. Now, last but definitely not least, we like to pay homage to our cultures where Lunar New Year is a significant holiday. Lunar New Year, which is Tet in Vietnam and春节in Taiwan, follows the lunar calendar, so timings change annually in comparison to the usual calendar year. That's why it tends to occur between the end of January to the middle of February. It celebrates the arrival of spring and the start of the new year, where it's all about reconnecting, reflecting, and eating. It's basically Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year all rolled up into one. Growing up, my dad would start prepping weeks in advance. We would deep clean the house, and my father would go grocery shopping and spend days prepping dishes and leading up to New Year's. And you hear my dog in the background. Clearly, she's very excited about Lunar New Year too.
This is so cool. I wish we could celebrate Lunar New Year together one day. It would be fun. And so, same here too. Food is the centerpiece of Tet. One of the most iconic dishes is Bantek, a sticky rice cake wrapped in banana leaves. The savory version is filled with pork, mung beans, and spices. I'm totally definitely more into savory flavors, but my favorite version is the sweet one with bananas. And a fun fact about that is my mom doesn't mess around. Like she orders three cakes at once so I can live my best dessert life at that time of the year. But more seriously, when you think how and what it is made of, it's completely sustainable.
Agreed. It's sustainable because it uses local seasonal ingredients, which reduces transportation emissions. The dish is wrapped in biodegradable banana leaves, eliminating plastic waste, and it's often cooked in large batches, minimizing energy use. Additionally, the communal preparation and sharing of this dish fosters a zero waste mindset, as leftover ingredients and uneaten cake can be repurposed or composted. Same thing in Taiwan's niangao or sticky rice cake. Ours is sweet though, but it's made with rice flour and brown sugar. It's simple and it's delicious, and it comes with a cute superstition. Eating it will help you stick to success in the new year. So talk about motivation.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I want to try it one day, and I hope really like success would come in the new year. um, so, speaking of success, let's talk about red envelopes. In Vietnam, we give laissez, or red envelopes filled with money to kids and younger relatives. I'm not getting them since a long time now, so guess my age. It's all about sharing blessings and good fortune. But these days, some families are switching to digital envelopes to cut down on paper waste. It's sustainable and modern.
Taiwan's been doing something similar as well. We also give red envelopes. In my family, at least what my mom has told me, that once you get married, you start gifting red envelopes. So it's not so much with age, it's more so whether or not you're married and you're an adult symbolized through marriage. But anyway, so in Taiwan, some families been using digital apps to send digital red envelopes to each other. It's quick, it's eco-friendly, and no one has to awkwardly iron out their cash before gifting it in the envelope. Um, and there's this old and easiest trick where you can reuse their envelopes, right? There are some traditions where you sleep with the red envelope under your pillow, but most often people throw it out afterwards. You might as well give them back to your elders and they can save them again for next year.
That's definitely more sustainable and cheaper than buying them everything. I'm sure the grandparents may love that idea once they get over thinking it's weird or something. But let's not forget the decorations. In Vietnam, we use yellow apricot flowers and kumquat trees. They're vibrant, symbolic, and compostable. None of that glittery plastic stuff.
Which is great. We hate that glittery plastic stuff. In Taiwan, kumquat trees are also super popular, and we hang little red charms on them for good luck. Plus, everything is reusable. After the holiday, the trees go back in the garden or on the balcony and they bear fruit.
That's amazing. Okay, so what do all the celebrations have in common? They're about bringing people together and they're about meaningful traditions. To sum it all up, Here are some tips to use to be more mindful no matter where or what you're celebrating.
First up, decorations. Whether it's Taiwan's kumquat trees, Vietnam's apricot flowers, or the US rented potted trees, the key is go natural and reusable. Use what's local or what you already have. If it happens to smell amazing, like cinnamon sticks or dried oranges, even better, because then you can cut out those chemical-filled sprays like Febreze.
And remember, embrace furoshiki and try fabric wraps, old scarves, or even recycled paper for wrapping gifts. It's thoughtful, creative, and way less wasteful.
Finally, food. Whether you're hosting a Taiwanese style family feast or an Argentine barbecue, focus on seasonal and local ingredients. Go to your local meat or butcher shop and not the wholesale grocery store. Make your own items and not buy them imported. Not only does it taste better, it also supports local farmers and it reduces your overall carbon footprint.
So, whether you're celebrating Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Lunar New Year, or another event, the holidays are a time to reflect, connect, and make a difference. By keeping things mindful and inclusive, you're not just creating memories, you're creating impact.
We hope this inspires you to borrow a tradition or two, make things up, and make your celebrations even more meaningful. After all, the best holidays are the ones that bring us closer to each other and to all the world around us.
And don't forget to share your favorite holiday traditions in the comments. We'd love to hear how you celebrate and keep things planet and people conscious.
Happy holidays, everyone. We'll be taking a brief break during the next couple of weeks to spend some time with our families, but we'll be back before you know it. And remember, whether it's Niangao, barbecue, or Lakis, celebrate with love and care.
And if you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss out. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you in January after the new year. Bye.
Bye.